We're kickstarting a new unit on gender in advertising. We're planning to interrogate how the media can influence gender stereotypes, beginning with kind of a fun check-in, a silly check-in with kids defining their ideal man and woman. And really kids can go anywhere with that. You know, if they're focusing more on personality traits, that's great. If they're focusing on physical attributes, that's great.
Muscular.
Okay, and for a female?
Oh, and rich.
I mean, I guess.
How about financially responsible?
How do we touch on this without getting controversial?
Good
Like in advertising, strong jawline.
Because it's then creating a baseline for whether or not, or to what extent they feel that they maybe are being influenced by the media. Today we're going to explore how perhaps the mass media might be influencing certain gender stereotypes. But before we dive in, I did want to make a quick note about gender binaries, or the lack thereof. So in general today we're exploring masculine versus feminine, which kind of ignores the whole spectrum. And many people don't strictly conform to one end or the other. So I don't want to disaffirm this experience, but we've simplified it to really look at the two poles of this spectrum. We're going to begin with a commercial from 2010 created by Old Spice. So for just a minute, I'm going to have you just watch. Are you comparing your ideal man? Pretty close. Okay. I'm just going to have you just watch it once through.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body wash and switched to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat. Your man could smell it. What's in your head? Back at me. I have it. Here's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you lost. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
So I chose the Old Spice commercial. I wanted something that was really explicit about gender and gender roles. And, you know, the catchphrase, smell like a man, man, is really playing into certain stereotypes that masculinity and femininity are binaries, which really tied in with the lesson as a whole, thinking about how stereotypes are constructed. I'm gonna have you watch it again. But this time, as you watch, I want you to think about the different stories told through this advertisement. I want you to think about the main story. Then think about the side story or side stories happening around this, on the sidelines or around the edges. And then finally, I want you to consider the hidden story told through this advertisement. What's maybe a story that's untold, neglected, or happening beneath the surface. I chose the main side hidden routine because I really want us to think about, with advertisements, there's of course the intended message of the creator, right? They want to sell a product, but then when you dig beneath the surface, we can see how, when you're selling something using sexual appeal, what types of bodies are portrayed, what types of people. It can tell us a lot about who has power, who gets to be included, who is considered beautiful and attractive, and then who is, by extension, not considered beautiful and attractive. So I want to use that routine to really get kids thinking about the layers of meaning that we can see through advertisements and what that can reveal about social values and norms as well.
It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you lost. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
Right, so take a few minutes to complete this individually. I'm really actually excited to hear what they say about some of the side and hidden stories. There's a lot of potential there. As I was walking around the room, while they were working independently, it's really great because I can see how they're understanding the commercial. What I'm really looking for is kind of where students are putting what ideas in the side story or the hidden story. I think for some of them, the side story was men as providers, men as caretakers of women, men as people who should have wealth in order to be masculine. And some people have that as the hidden, encoded story.
Side stories. One thing I said was he says you're a woman, so it's saying if someone has a woman, if they don't, then they're appealing to the person's aspiration to have a partner in their life, or not
Multiple times that you shouldn't smell like a woman.
Since they're using humor the entire time, they're like giving themselves leeway to like throw out these ideas that they know men will compare themselves to without having the repercussions for it.
Does play on gender insecurity and toxic masculinity. I think these aren't actually the qualities that all women want. It's more what men think women want.
So while students were discussing, I noticed that the main side hidden routine helped them to go more deeply and stay focused. I was impressed because they'd never done the routine before. They really thought critically. I really noticed how many details they were noticing.
He's like, look at me, look at your man, look at this. And that's like really dominating like a masculine way. Yeah.
It's like comparing, you know, an ideal guy, you know, strong.
Yeah.
Like physically strong, just like monetarily wealthy, you know.
Yeah. And again, I feel like this is the male gaze on men.
I think one thing that I was worried about before the class began is that we're talking about gender norms in a class where there are only 3 girls in the whole class and the rest are all young men. And I was really impressed by the young men and how critical they were and thoughtful they were in their conversations.
This was being directed to like a female audience or like consumer, but I feel like not really, in a sense that this could be a male watching and also reflecting upon himself, and who could, in a sense, be, I don't know, reflecting how he's incompetent in his job, or he's not able to satisfy his girlfriend's or his woman's desire. Additionally, he could be dissatisfied with his physique, and the commercial could be used to like play on these insecurities.
How would we say that this text targets men and women differently? Mariana?
This doesn't really target women at all. It's an ad made by men for men. So it's selling this idea of this is gonna help you get girls or keep your girlfriend, when in reality it's just playing on gender insecurity and toxic masculinity that men have internalized.
I feel like it just distinctly draws a connection between masculinity and basically everything that is, I guess, perceived as good by society, like freedom, money, everything, almost saying your worth depends on your masculinity and your masculinity depends on you wearing our product.
Bodhi?
The quote, "anything is possible," kind of encompasses what this commercial is trying to say about masculinity and attractiveness.
Yeah, well, how many of us had wealth on our ideal man list at the beginning of class? Yeah. So a lot of his lifestyle seems to be attained through wealth. Shanti, did I see your hand?
I'm clever that the way that they like chronologically unfold all of these elements on top of each other, starting with the deodorant, and so without it, those things are impossible. It's basically saying your options as a man are limited if you don't use Old Spice.
Yeah, whereas if you do, you get to go on a boat and ride a horse. To build on a main side hidden routine, we're now going to use a See, Think, Wonder routine to look at a collection of advertisements targeted toward different types of audiences for different purposes. But what I really want them to be looking for is trends. I want them to be noticing trends across the stories. And then they have the structure of the See, Think, Wonder as something that they can use while discussing and it gives all kids, whether they're really outspoken or really quiet, a voice in that conversation or an entry point into the conversation.